Thank you for tuning in to Talkwad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
The west central coast of Florida has an amazing music scene. Festivals, clubs, special performances, and there's always a lot of live music. The problem has always been getting the word out about events. Then GoTonight.com emerged on the scene. The brainstorm creation of founder Don McKeon, a Sarasota entrepreneur. We caught up with Don and his inspirational friend, Frank Papa, at the Flying Dog Cafe.
This is Frank. I'm Don. Frank is the reason that there is a GoTonight.com. He would call me repeatedly.
Where are we going? Where do you want to go? Where will we go tonight?
The website has been a boon to many small clubs. So next time you find yourself asking, where will we go tonight? You've got the answer.
You're listening to RockSlamRadio.com. From our studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a groupie, throw some horns, and settle in for another fine show from RockSlamRadio.com.
It's Thursday night. Rock Slam Radio. The Surge with your hosts, Terry Tull, Tim Cronin, coming to you live over the internet airways. It's the best show you can actually watch and listen to on internet radio. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight, so stick around. Don't go away. Whatever you do, grab a drink, grab a pizza. I don't care what you get. Just have fun. Sit back and relax. We're gonna have a blast right here. The Surge. All right, here we go. It's that time. Here come the boys now. Get ready to do their thing right here at Rock Slam Radio and the Surge Radio Show. Here's Terry Tull and Tim Cronin.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to The Surge. I am Tim Cronin. Terry Tull cannot be here as he is feeling a little bit under the weather, so I've brought with me a very special guest, good friend of mine for several years, Mr. John Zahner. Say hello.
How you doing, Tim? How you doing, everybody out there?
We're going to have a great show tonight, I can already tell. It's just going to be the two of us tonight, so all we're going to be doing really is chatting about a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to start off by mentioning a couple things. First off, good luck to Hope Darling. Hope Darling is going to be playing the Hard Rock Rising show tonight, along with a couple other bands. They're playing against two other bands local to the area, Alma Vertical and The Best Day Ever. Good luck to all three of them, obviously, but I sort of have a vested interest in Hope Darling, just because I know those guys, I played with those guys, they're really cool, and best of luck to you guys. Here's to ya. Also, I have to mention, last week we had the Bearded Brothers on the show. Now, we were talking a little bit about the South by Southwest show that they're going to be doing and all this kind of stuff. And then also on Newport Richie Patch, if you've ever checked that out, you probably know that I have written a blog on there since, I think it was June of 2011. And this newest one that was actually published just this morning, I was feeling rather generous, and I went ahead and spotlighted them. They just deserve it. They are really, really talented. I'm glad to be a part of their show right now, and I honestly think that Tommy G, who's pretty much the chief songwriter, he deserves a lot right now. He's a very, very good songwriter. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and post up the link to the latest blog post on the Surge's Facebook page. If you're not connected to the Surge's Facebook page, check it out at facebook.com/thesurge2. And don't forget, if you want to talk to us, you can always call in at 727-597-4022. So check that out. And here comes the post for the Bearded Brothers. March 2013 band spotlight on Newport Richie Patch. Check that out. So John, let's talk.
What's happening there?
I gotta ask you, because you have been around the Tampa Bay music scene for a pretty long time now.
Yeah.
Where did you started as early as pretty much your high school days, right?
Yeah.
Now what?
Pretty
Now,
much.
where? How did you get involved there? Were there a lot of other musicians in high school with you that you were just
there were
wanting to jam with?
We had quite a few bands that were in the high school, and Peace Memorial was one, and TriCast was another one, and a lot of local artists that have gone on to great things, including Brad Trumbull, who was the organist for a couple of those bands, who now is the organist at the Rays games.
There you go.
There's somebody that's broken out of the typical club mold and all that kind of thing, and still playing. He also works at a local music store in the keyboard department.
Beautiful. Speaking of the club scene, you've been playing the club scene for a long time too. Now you sort of have mixed feelings about it, I'm sure, but it's been for the most part good to you, right?
Yeah. The whole thing with working a club scene are the people. And you're there, and it's interesting because it's almost like attitude adjustment time. Because a lot of people will come in, they're having problems or something like that. You're playing music, and you make them feel good, or you help them feel better. And that's one of the reasons that we do what we do.
That's very true. Now, this weekend was pretty much the start. This past weekend was pretty much the start of the official spring break season around here, and you guys just played Jimmy B's on Wednesday. Your band Drama.
Yes,
played
that's
Jimmy
correct.
B's.
It was absolutely crazy pandemonium. It was something to see. It was people watching and just everybody really enjoying themselves and getting extremely loose and lubricated.
Very nice. I had a similar experience down in Clearwater Beach. Monday, I played the Brown Boxer with the Danny Brantley band, and I don't know if you know the musicians that he's playing with right now. Danny Brantley himself is also a very talented songwriter, and I'd actually like to get him on the show. Unfortunately, he works now every Thursday. He's playing a private party tonight, and I think he's going to start playing the brand new Trinity Varsity Club every Thursday now.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's going to have a regular gig out of that. But he's another great one, and the lineup that he's got right now, as far as a live band goes, at least the most steady one he's got right now, because sometimes musicians aren't available and stuff like that, is this guy Matt Pointer. He's fairly new to the drum
I've heard
scene.
about him, yeah.
He's going to become somewhat of a legend. I'm telling you that right now. He's got to be one of the best drummers in the Bay Area. And he's like 22, 23 years old. He's only been playing for 7 years, but he's ridiculously good.
There's a few very, very good younger drummers in the area right now.
Yeah.
And just an area to watch in this area.
Oh, yeah. And the guitarist is a guy who's been around the scene for a little while. He plays any kind of gig he can get his hands on, really. And the guy's knowledge of music is, equivalent to that of the old jazz cats. This guy named Jeff Jacob. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Do not know Jeff.
I'm gonna have to send you a link to him because he's a fiery player.
Cool.
So
I like Danny, and I've got to get out and see that because it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
he's a cool guy to play with. Sunday, March 24th is the next time we're going to be playing the Boxer.
Cool.
And I think we're even going to have a keyboardist with us, actually. This guy, Ben Zaccanino, I think is his name. He's from the band Tantrum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I want to get into a little bit of your history, because I know you've done interviews on Rock Slam shows before. You were of course, with us for that early Rocket Man show when we were with Circle Sky.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then again with the Eric Anderson guys on, what was it, T-Bones, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never really got too much into like your history, and you have a really rich history of being in the scene. Where did it really start? Obviously, you had a couple bands in high school, but like as far as, performing bands that were out there, where did it start?
It'd probably start with Ruckus. Right after Terry Bollea left Ruckus, who's also known as Hulk Hogan. He left Ruckus, and they were looking to change a few members around, and they got Anthony Barcelo on bass, and they got me on keys, and that was kind of the start of things, because that combination of people went on, and Anthony and I were both in Secret Service for a while. And Secret Service was probably the first real exposure to extensive songwriting that I did, along with Pete Jordan, their guitar player.
Now, what kind of bands were those first two?
Ruckus was a funk rock band.
Okay.
And which was really funny because we'd open for bands like U2 and stuff like that. And
oh, wow.
Funk rock opening for punk or what we used to call psycho Irish rock. It was this really strange combination. Didn't always work.
Opening for U2, would that have been like during the war era, something like that?
No, before that.
Before that, Boy
Before
October,
that.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So early 80s.
Yes. They
Okay.
only had like 3 songs, and they
gee.
played them over and over.
Oh, no.
It was,
no
it
kidding.
was awesome, yeah. It was really good, though. Bono was the master.
Well, back then, he was just this fiery little dude who had a lot to prove.
And the Edge had all his effects taped to his guitar. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow. And then Secret Service. So tell me about Secret Service next.
Secret Service, I was asked to join Secret Service because they were in the studio, and they were working on some tracks with Jim Morris behind the board. And we were looking for something really special for this song they had called Angel on Sunday. And I whipped out the trusty Oberheim and came up with this somewhat signature part on it.
For those of us who aren't music nerds, the Oberheim is a kind of a synthesizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to jump around a bit like that, but yes, Oberheim OB8, a very cool old analog synthesizer.
Similar sounds would be found on a song like Another One Bites the Dust, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but also probably more so Sagas on the Loose.
Okay.
It would probably be a little closer to what
what
we
you were
were
doing?
going for in
Okay.
that. And the Cars. We
Right.
were really influenced songwriting-wise by the Cars and a lot of British music.
Yeah, yeah.
So
The Cars were always a bit on the underrated side to me.
they're amazing.
They
Elliot
really
Easton,
had
oh my God.
Yeah, they really had a great formula there.
And Greg Hawkes was a pioneering keyboard player. He was like the first guy to get really signature sounds from inexpensive gear for the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome.
Terry
I always loved
Terry
him.
just wrote on the Surge's page that he used to have an OB8 as well.
Oh, Great.
Because, you know,
Fantastic.
Terry's a keyboardist that's also been around probably almost as long as you have as part of the scene.
Yeah.
And he's been, you know, he plays keys. He plays a lot
Right,
of
he's
stuff.
a multi-instrumentalist, yeah.
Yeah, and he can do the Tull stuff like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Stand on one leg, Terry.
stand on one leg. That's right. That's right. It's funny. The last time we played our last gig was Overtime a couple weeks ago, and some of the people that were watching him do the Tull, there was one guy who was like half drunk. He was trying to do the one leg thing too, and he almost fell over in the process. Funny stuff. Oh, good. Okay, so after Secret Service, what came next?
There were a few different things, actually. My career goes back and forth from band to band, but the next significant band after Secret Service would be I joined a metal band from Bradenton called Crimson Glory. And that was my first exposure to going over to Europe and witnessing the crazy European metal scene.
Yeah.
Crimson Glory was around between about 86, at least for me, from 86 through 89.
That's when you joined?
And I was on their album called Transcendence that was recorded between 88 and 89.
And you wrote one. You co-wrote one of their songs, right?
Yes, I was the official fourth writer on the song "Lonely,"
which they actually did a music video for.
Yes, there's a music
and I'm a little
video.
bummed that you're not in the music video.
No, you're not the only one. Hey, that's the thing that happens when you're a keyboard player, though. You know, it's
a lot of
management decision. You know,
a lot of 80s bands. You know, they had a lot of keyboards, but the keyboardist never really appeared in the band. Heart was guilty of that too. Heart had never. Yeah. I don't think they ever had their keyboardist appear in the video.
Actually, Howard Leese appears playing the part in Barracuda, where he does guitar sustains and then plays mellotron chords against it.
Okay.
So he appears in a video, and I'm impressed by that.
Not very often that it happens, though.
But you'll never see a keyboard in a Def Leppard song,
or even though they did have keys on some of their tracks.
Yeah. You very rarely will see keys in those bands.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad.
It is.
But yeah, there was a music video. I'm gonna try and dig it up. I know it's on YouTube somewhere. I'm gonna try to see if I can dig up the music video for Lonely.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I know it's out there. I've seen it.
It's unique.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna post up the link to this.
That's the live one.
Is this the live? No, this is VH1 Classic.
Oh no, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's the right one. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this up on the Surge. Check this out. Obviously, like I said, John's not in it, but he actually helped co-write this song. So check it out. Again, if you're not connected to us on Facebook, the page is facebook.com/thesurge2. Make sure that 2 is there. All right. So Crimson Glory. Now you joined in. Obviously, Midnight was still alive. Rest in peace, Midnight.
Yes, absolutely.
What was it like working with that guy? Because that guy just had a ridiculous voice.
He could sing anything. He was a student of Lau Cohen. And he went from being a very eclectic singer to being an extremely polished singer in a very, very short period of time. And we, in our working together, I loved his medieval influences. And
medieval,
yeah.
Like
medieval, like he liked Celtic music a lot.
Okay.
But that was an area of influence that a lot of people didn't get with him.
Right.
And it did show up on Transcendence and on the very first album, Crimson Glory.
Right.
And the thing that was great was there was a combination between him and John Drenning, the other writer, we'll say one of the other writers, because Jeff
they all did a little bit of writing.
Player, actually wrote more than anybody would ever believe. But the thing that was so cool between John and Midnight was that they had this banter back and forth. Mm-hmm. And they both had an extreme amount of respect for each other, but you'd never know it in the banter. Because, you know, they'd both be somewhat depreciating. But the thing that was great was that out of that came, for at least the time, some very, very legendary music. And the funny thing is, going back, because I rejoined Crimson Glory in the around 2010, and we went back to Europe again, and those first albums are still like considered amongst the best metal albums of all time.
Europe
over there.
loves those albums.
Yeah, it's always been a very sobering thing to go back over there, and instead of people talking about John Oliva's Pain, which I was in, or Sabotage and stuff,
Right.
they'd be bringing back the Crimson Glory thing.
Well, since you mentioned Oliva's Pain and Sabotage, let's go ahead and talk about your year. Well, no, I mean it's a significant part here, and those guys are very much local heroes.
Well, I have to, if we're doing a chronology,
Uh-huh.
I have to go from Crimson Glory to a band that has resurfaced again as well. It's funny, things move in circles in
Yeah,
my
they really
life.
do.
It's crazy. But a band called Drama,
Right.
which I'm back in again with the I guess the third Drama guitarist, David Wiley. And then we fleshed it out with some other players. Actually, Eddie Pecchio played every Drama gig until he left for the second time to join Stormbringer. So,
But now we're getting ahead of ourselves.
yes, we're getting ahead of ourselves, and I know it's all over the place. But
Yeah.
that's just showing the craziness of living the life of a musician, especially one that's bound by an area instead of just constantly
Yeah.
across the globe.
Well, it's
and
very
stuff.
true. I mean, the entire Bay Area music scene. You know, they you get good players that'll bounce from band to band, and they play pretty much whatever they can, wherever they can, however they can. I just saw on my news feed actually that this guy Danny Intagliata, who's a really good drummer himself, he just announced on his Facebook page that he is now officially the new drummer for Blisterine.
Cool.
And the Blisterine guys are really, really cool. So you
Yeah,
know,
I've seen them around.
yeah, props to him. Very good for. But that's the kind of life that we live. You know, I mean, my resume alone, I haven't even been in the scene that long. I've been in here, God, maybe 7.5 years. But I've been in, I don't know, 12, 13 bands around the area. Even if it's just one-off gigs, or if
Yeah.
it's just a fill-in spot here and there,
I
I've been
know.
playing with a lot of different people. So yeah, it's one.
sometimes dizzying.
It can be. So coming back to Drama, then tell
So-
about the early years of Drama.
When we first created Drama, we had John Vasilakis from Hoochie on lead vocals, and the band started off being more of a progressive rock band. We played a lot of Pink Floyd, a lot of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a lot of Yes, all that type of thing, and it morphed from that as we went through a couple different members to being more of the 80s hair metal kind of thing. And we added more chick-friendly material and stuff for clubs and all that.
Uh-huh.
And it changed as it went. And as it changed, the members would come and go.
Right.
And then I finally left that band and joined Sabotage for
Right.
a few years.
So that's where
around
Sabotage came in.
91.
Now, you were a touring member of Sabotage, right? You didn't actually write any of the material or anything like
That's
that?
correct.
Yeah.
I was a touring member.
You're
I was
touring.
supposed to, actually, I am on Edge of Thorns, both
Okay.
on keys and in vocals of all things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did a bit of work on that, but it was decided at that point by management and Paul O'Neill that they wanted to go a different direction for both the live show and the studio show. They wanted to get away from some of the pompousness that was going on with the Streets, which I love, but they wanted to try something different. And,
Okay.
But Chris and I continued to work and write, and we had a lot of music that we were going to explore on our own later. That's Chris Oliva, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Also, Riff in Peace.
Riff in Peace, that's right.
He was a major influence in my life, and it ripped a hole in me when he passed.
Yeah, it was a sad day for a lot of people. I can't even imagine.
I got the call at like 4 a.m.
Oh,
It was
geez.
ugly.
Oh, geez.
But and then working with John Oliva for many years before and after that, really, he's always been a huge influence in my life with all his writing and skills that he does.
He was a very prolific writer too. I remember when we did that road trip down to Bonita Springs that you played on the way back up. You played me a bunch of stuff that never actually got released.
Yeah,
It was like demo stuff that he'd recorded that even that sounded absolutely amazing.
yeah, his finger drums on, and he plays every instrument.
Yeah.
And everything extremely well. And he got Matt Laporte to play another riff and peace guy.
I know, what the hell?
He got him in to play guitar on what was the Taj Mahal album, and then he turned that, which was actually the John Oliva Project, and then we turned that into John Oliva's Pain.
Right.
Because we couldn't use Taj Mahal because there's a blues cat that kind of copyrighted the name.
Oh,
Damn
right.
So
that's the Fish and Blues guy, Taj Mahal.
Yeah. He was on Sounder and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He's
actually.
damn good. He's
he's really amazing.
Oh yeah.
But the fortunate thing with the Pain thing is that we then could create JOP, and that was neat being able to do that.
And am I right in understanding that John Oliva's Pain is going to be playing again next month? Coming up?
No. John Oliva's Pain. John Oliva is going to probably later this year be doing a storytellers tour.
Oh, okay.
And they're talking about that right now. He and Chris Kender, the co-producer, drummer, personal friend of mine, drummer of drama. As I said, circles, man.
Yeah.
It just keeps going around.
Speaking of circles, Terry just posted that he was actually in several bands with Matt. Matt Laporte must have been another one of those guys where he just was, road warrior, played with everybody.
Yep.
Terry, we're going to have to talk about that next time we're together on a show, if that ever happens again, because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I've got Texas. I've got South by Southwest. I can't even say it. South by Southwest next week. Say that 5 times fast.
That's a festival, right?
Yep, it's big festival, Austin, Texas. Pretty much the entire city of Austin, Texas gets just taken over by the arts and music community.
That's going to be a blast, man.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're looking at some potential showcase dates. We're not 100% sure exactly all the details. Like we said last week, it's all TBA right now. But when we know, you'll know. That's for sure. And then the week after that, I've got a little solo show at the Seaside Inn. So Terry, I'm gonna miss you for 2 whole weeks after you missed me for 2 whole weeks. And man, oh man, eventually we'll get. We did one show together. That was the very first one, and the show after that.
Pretty soon there'll be tape over a name.
Yeah. The show after that he did with Nancy. There wasn't a show the next week because we were both busy, and then the show after that I did with Star, and now you. So funny how that works.
Yeah.
But anyway, where were we? I have no idea.
Oh, we were
we were talking about we were talking about John Oliva and his Storytellers tour, and we're still on the chronology. We were at John Oliva's Pain. You were in that up until I'm guessing early mid 90s, something like that.
Yeah. Well, no.
No?
It was in Sabotage till 93, technically.
93. Okay.
And that's of course when Chris passed.
Right. Okay.
So,
okay. We got a call.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on the air.
First call.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? This is Evil Dick from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, my God, dude.
John, you're going to have to introduce me.
Oh, yeah,
what's
absolutely.
Happening? Jay-Z, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Introduce me. Who is Evil Dick?
Evil Dick is, he's our videographer.
Ah, cool.
He is the video mastermind extraordinaire. He's done videos of John Oliva's Pain. He's done videos of Crimson Glory. He's done a lot of different videos and TSO, and I mean just a lot of great stuff.
Awesome.
He does a lot of editing work and all that.
Awesome. Evil Dick, glad to have you on the show. What's going on?
Dude, what's up, man? I just seen that Jay-Z was hosting the show. I want to hear some Sabotage.
Oh, man.
Imagine that.
Break out the keys right now.
Oh, look out.
I should have packed some, right?
Yeah.
Get something off the streets, man.
Oh, I'd love to. It's still it's my Sabotage Desert Island album.
It's a great album. It's a brilliant album.
Man.
Yeah, that's a brilliant
From
album.
Start to finish. It's a really impressive piece of work. And I personally love all the demo stuff as well, Larry Elbows and all that stuff. Everything that had to be excised from the final release.
That's one thing that people don't necessarily realize about the Tampa Bay area is that there is actually, ever since the mid-'80s or so, there has been a huge metal scene in the area.
Yeah.
And it's grown quite a lot too. I mean, it's branched out to almost as many different genres as, you know, the metal world itself.
Absolutely.
So you've got a little of everything there.
Well, Sabotage the thing that was so cool about Sabotage and before that Avatar is that there was no band in the area that was trying to do the Black Sabbath thing.
Okay.
And they really took that Black Sabbath thing by the horns and and ran with it. And Drew's been with us for, you know, a long time on that.
Very cool. You got a question for us, or are you just sort of calling in and showing your support?
Just showing the support, man. I was hoping you guys would play some Sabotage for us tonight.
If I knew any, I would. If I knew how to play it, I would. That stuff is tough to play, though.
Hey, man, why don't you tell them a little bit about your, time with Sabotage, man, and, how it was touring on the streets tour and everything.
Yeah, we can get into a little detail. Yeah, why not?
I was like the newbie in Sabotage, so I was the guy that was, like, terrorized every night. But
you were hazed?
Yeah, continuously. But I also became really good friends with Chris Oliva, and the guy hanging with Chris was like hanging with fire because he always was moving and he always had something new to add. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, and he was always very intense, and it's something I always love about him and the memories of that. And everybody in the band was way cool, and we had a super crew and all that. And we did Europe, and then we did a couple tours of America, including the famous Livestock 3 show where we had problems with Every Mother's Nightmare, and that was hysterical because there was this thing where Sabotage was supposed to go on last, and Every Mother's Nightmare thought they were supposed to go on last, and there was a management dispute. Anyway, it ended up that Every Mother's Nightmare did go on last, but before they went on, John Oliva told them in no uncertain terms, because there was 20,000 people out there for Sabotage, said by the time you guys finish your second song, there's going to be 600 people out there. And lo and behold, it was true.
Whoa.
They just flew out. It was like somebody got on a megaphone and said, "Leave now!"
Whoa.
Yeah. No,
that sucks.
It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, there was nobody left by the time
Oh, my
they were
God.
done.
That's crazy.
Everybody was backstage partying.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, Drew. I miss you, man. Hey, you coming down for the Queensryche show on the 15th?
No, man, I'm not going to do that, but maybe sometime this summer, dude. You rule.
No, thank you, man. So do you. I miss you a lot, buddy.
Thanks so much.
You and Deb. We miss you, dude.
We'll see you sometime this year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man.
Right,
please stay in touch, brother.
Thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep, rock on. You guys have a good time.
Thanks again,
Thanks,
man.
All right.
Rock it.
So after Oliva's Pain, which you did play with a few years, after that
7
was
years.
After that was Stormbringer, yes?
No. You mean after Sabotage? After Sabotage.
Oh, okay.
After Sabotage is
Stormbringer. Oliva's Pain. Man, you really are all over the place. Okay,
Yeah,
Sabotage, Stormbringer, Oliva's Pain. So, well, let's talk about Stormbringer too,
because Stormbringer kind of got thrown in
in
the dryer. It's spinning around somewhere.
But Stormbringer is still out and touring and doing their thing.
That's correct. I was in Stormbringer for 7 years, and I handpicked the replacement, who's Mark Royals, and he's an amazing sax as well as keyboard player.
Yeah, whenever they play Pink Floyd's Money, he breaks out the saxophone and does that.
He's a great sax player.
Yeah.
I love listening to him. But he's also a really personal, close friend and stuff. And shouts out to them because they're like in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, they were last night. They played with Jimmy Jameson from Survivor and Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult.
Very cool.
They're coming back on the big jet airliner, and after being gone for a couple days. So it's very, very cool that they're able to do this stuff.
They're still doing their thing. They're still playing up by my area about once a month or so over at the Reef.
Reef, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing their thing. Your
They
time
kick ass,
now,
man.
your time in Stormbringer was pretty cool too, because at one point, a certain member of Kansas joined up, didn't he?
Well, I actually joined Stormbringer because of Steinhardt Moon. And Steinhardt Moon was Rick Moon, who was also in Stormbringer, and Robbie Steinhardt from Kansas, who had been in the area for a while and was kind of on hiatus from Kansas and from playing and stuff. And Rick kind of got him going again, and created this Steinhardt Moon project. And we ended up we had an album of original material. And Rick recorded actually two different albums of original material with Robbie Steinhardt, and then we fleshed the show out with doing classic Kansas songs. And some of these things were bears. I mean, some of these were the really intense epics and stuff.
There's a video on YouTube of Steinhardt Moon doing a song called "Backseat Love Affair."
Yeah, I remember
from the '96
fondly.
'96 Bay Area Music Awards, and you do make a couple appearances in this video.
Yeah,
so
correct.
I'm going to go ahead and post that up onto the Surge's page. Once again, that's facebook.com/thesurge2. So check that out. Really cool video, really cool performance. This is basically the Stormbringer lineup with Robbie Steinhardt at this point,
Correct,
right? You
yes.
had John,
Absolutely.
Rick Moon, Eddie Pecchio, and Dana.
Do you know where that's from? Is that from Boomer's Boiler Room by any chance?
The video came from a user named Don Woz, DONWOZ. I don't know who that is.
Don't know who that is.
Posted
either.
it about 5 years ago now.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so that's on the Surge's page now. Facebook.com/thesurge2 is where you go to look for that. So you had your time in Stormbringer. You had your time with Steinhardt Moon.
Yep. Oh, Robbie was only with us for about 5 years, and then he left and went back to Kansas again.
He's since retired, I believe, or semi-retired, or something like that.
He was in Kansas for a while, and then he retired again. I think there's medical reasons, probably.
Probably. That seems about right.
You know, and bless him. I mean, he's been around and been doing the thing for so many years.
What a killer musician he
really
is.
Responsible, for a lot of those classic Kansas tracks. So.
The Stormbringer you were in for, you said 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
And that led up to, where are we officially in the 2000s now?
Yeah, we're getting close.
Okay.
We're really close now. And that led me into, I left Stormbringer to join a band called Circle to Circle.
Okay.
And the reason I did is because of Matt Laporte. And
coming
Matt,
back around to that.
Yeah. And to work with a couple musicians that I really had a lot of respect for in the area. Well, first of all, Circle to Circle, the lead vocalist was Zach Stevens, who replaced John Oliva in Sabotage on the Edge of Thorns album.
Okay.
From there on to Poets and Madmen, which actually John sang.
Okay.
And Zach came back with this idea of Circle to Circle, and got Matt to be the lead guitar player, and we got Chris Kinder on drums and Kevin Rothney on bass, and another guy named Shane French on guitar, and we went and we toured Europe for a while, and we lasted together about a year, but management was god awful.
Oh no!
So,
no!
The whole band basically quit on an October afternoon.
Wow!
And literally the week we quit, the whole band pretty much rejoined John Oliva.
Okay, gotcha.
With his project thing, except for Kevin. He came along later. We had Jason Jennings when we first did it.
Okay.
But, and the funny thing was then when 2003 rolled around, we had the anniversary party for Chris Oliva. We had Streech, which was a Sabotage cover band, and we had Circle to Circle, and we had the John Oliva Project.
Okay.
And then we had Sabotage as it existed then.
Okay, wow.
And that was an amazing night.
That must have been, yeah.
I had boatloads of fun that night.
Very cool. Very cool.
And a lot of tears in my eyes.
Aww.
Because I had Chris's wife right in front of me.
Oh,
She was crying her eyes out.
Wow. Powerful night then.
Very.
Very cool.
Very.
Okay. So where are we now in the timeline?
Now we're approaching John Oliva's Pain.
Okay.
Which, there's another 5 to 7 years of touring, writing, and extensive recording. Some really, really interesting CDs were produced in that time, including Maniacal Renderings, which the band really got together and wrote a lot on Maniacal Renderings. Bass player Kevin came up with a few of the signature lines that started songs. I created choruses with Matt Laporte, and we had Jerry Outlaw in the band for a while even, so he was also involved in the writing. And that, in my opinion, is some of my best discography. So if anybody's interested, look up John Oliva's Pain, Maniacal Renderings, and you'll find me all over that stuff.
I'm going to type that into a search real quick and see if I can put up a link. Well, there's the link to the album on Wikipedia, but that doesn't really help me much. I kind of want here's a video of the actual the actual song Maniacal Renderings.
Yeah,
there's an ad attached to it, but I'll go ahead and post that up and
there's some great live footage, and Drew was responsible for this.
The guy
stuff.
who just called in? Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Very cool.
Great live footage of this from Bourbon Street.
The old Bourbon Street.
The old Bourbon Street.
It's interesting, because you had so much support from the old Bourbon Street, and now I'm getting support from Steve and Natalie, who are running the new Bourbon Street. So, once again, just a big old circle.
Exactly.
All right, so there's the link for John Oliva's Pain's song Maniacal Renderings off the album of the same name from 2006.
Yeah.
So that's about where we're at now, mid-2000s. We're cooking right along. We got about 10 minutes too, so we gotta start moving it along here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at 2006. Where are you at now after Oliva's Pain?
Well, I left John Oliva's Pain. It was a mutual. It's one of those. It wasn't even musical differences. It was just a mutual decision. I had a lot of projects that I was working on, and they didn't all coincide with the direction the band was going in.
You wanted to start focusing your time more, basically.
We parted amicably, and I did some original stuff with a project called Sonic Dali, which you won't find on there.
No, you won't. No, but they're really cool guys, man. I remember we played one. I played one set. It was at a Safety Harbor Festival of some kind.
Yes,
I forget what it was, but we played one set. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were very, very eclectic band, and
they played pretty much whatever they wanted.
We called it Swamp Prog. I thought that was a good description for it. But then from that, and somewhere in there was also Cryptic Vision, which is another progressive rock band, kind of old school prog, along the lines of Spock's Beard. And I just recently. There's 3 CDs that is the entire discography of Cryptic Vision. And I'm on all 3, but the third one just got released, will probably be the last.
Okay.
And it features me and Gary Shutt going back and forth on a couple different tracks.
Gary Shutt, now there's a monster of a guitar player himself.
Yeah, we have a few scorching duels on that. It's a lot of fun.
Cool, very cool. Gary's a cool guy, too.
Yeah,
and he's been doing his thing. He's going to be at Bike Week next week, and he's constantly busy. So
but that also led me to then right after I left John Oliva's Pain, very close to that, Midnight from Crimson Glory passed away from medical complications.
Very tragic, yeah.
And we had a big benefit for him in Atlanta at Prog Power. And which is this major festival in Atlanta. It takes over the Earthlink Center for a couple days.
Looks like we got ourselves a call. Caller, you're on. Is this Terry?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
I couldn't resist. John's a monster, man.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, you like all over the place. You play with a lot of people that I know really well over the years, man. And it's just an honor to see you on the show.
The name dropping is bringing back some memories. I take it.
Oh, big time, man, big time. Matt Laporte and I were really good friends, and a lot of the guys that he was talking about in Stormbringer, and I mean, I jammed with a bunch of these guys for years, and it's It's like old home week, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny how many really strong musicians have come out of this area, and a lot of strong bands, have gotten their start from this area, even if they've moved on and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And to this day, I mean, if I go to a Greg Billings show and grab my flute and bring it with me, he lets me get on a stage to this day.
Greg is one of the most gracious hosts
He really
in
is.
any band. And I will say this, I mean, I always have a boatload of fun every time I go see the Greg Billings Band.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
his musicians
he used to be tall
are...
years and years and years ago, and never had a flute player, and so I got up one night with he was playing at a club in Clearwater, no, in St. Pete, and a friend of mine was running sound. He goes, "You need to get Terry up there and let him do the flute parts on those." Well, he ended up letting me do the flute and the vocals.
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
And ever since, every time I see him, he lets me get up with him, so it's kind of cool.
Greg Billings is one of those people who just was born to work a crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just got that personality.
Yeah.
He does handstands on coolers, too. It's pretty amazing.
Nice.
Well, it's a great show tonight, guys. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, you would have been strolled down memory lane
but...
for you, for sure. Well, I don't even know if we're going to have time to get to absolutely everything, because we're at 2006, 2007 right now, but we're running out of time, so I'm going to see how much...
Let me get off the stupid phone so you guys can finish up here. Great show.
Let's see how much...
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Terry. I'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you soon, man.
Get well, buddy.
All right, bye.
Take care.
So yeah, let's see where else we're at.
Because I got to get this in, because this is really important, and that is when when Crimson Glory redid or went and did the thing in Prague Power in Atlanta, we had 20 some odd metal singers sing the discography of Crimson Glory, including Wade Black, who did the astronomical stuff.
Fantastic.
And then out of all these singers, we had a backup singer that Matt Laporte introduced to the band named Todd Latore.
Yeah.
And Todd Latore became the lead vocalist of Crimson Glory, and then we toured all over Europe with him. And in the process, he also went out to NAMM and met Mike Wilton from Queensryche, and just shooting the stuff, and goes back home, and a few months later gets a call from Mike Wilton saying, "Hey man, we want you to join Queensryche. We've had a problem with Jeff, and we want to continue and go in a different direction." And lo and behold, now Todd Latore is the lead vocalist for one of the greatest metal bands of all time, Queensryche. And they're going to be here on the 15th.
Something like that, yeah.
So
very proud, very proud of him, man. He's great vocalist. Come a long way.
Unbelievable.
So let's see. We've got I just got the 5-minute signal, so let's cover as much ground as we can. Now, you were in Phoenix sometime after that.
Correct.
And then how we first met was you were working on a project with Mark Allen, who was, a mutual...
Ascension.
Ascension, which was a Yes tribute.
Correct.
And then he asked you to join Circle Sky, which we were both in for a long time. And that was just a local cover band. They're still going on. Mark still got that going for him.
Famous for doing Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety.
Yeah, it was a cover band, but it was one where, I think, obviously I'm biased here, but I think the musicianship was at a level not very often seen in a cover band. And that's just that was as much you as it was me, as it was Mark, as it was Billy the drummer.
Eisner, yeah.
It was the amalgamation of all four of us, and we had so much fun in that time. And it eventually got to the point where John and I had to part ways. Billy moved on to another band. John and I moved on to different projects. You actually rejoined Phoenix after that. And then Drama has since been reunited, and that's where you are right now.
That's also correct.
So to wrap this up real quick, I just got to ask you, looking back on, that kind of time frame, do you regret any of it, or is it just like, are you proud of every moment? Is it one of those things where it's like you can look back and you can say, damn right, I accomplished that?
I think that's a lot of it, and I think that sometimes you don't take a step back, you take a step sideways, and then you keep going forward again. But the progression is a strange thing in life, and one of the things about progression is that you don't always see the best path ahead of you, because there's going to be many different roads, and you just have to kind of pick one that's a crapshoot.
There you go.
So, but fortunately, you've got that little circle thing going on. So sometimes you can sidestep and you can find your true way.
Stories like John Zahner's are all over the Tampa Bay area. There's just as much story as there is talent in this area. So, the whole purpose of a show like this is to spotlight people like John and to showcase just how much talent, how much experience, and how much love of music is in the area. So go out there, support your local music. They're all really, really cool people. They're all very, very talented. John, I appreciate you being on the show at such short notice. It's been an absolute blast.
It's real short.
It was way too short.
I didn't even have a chance to shave.
Tune in next week. Terry will be back, and I'll be in Texas. We'll have another blast of a show. I'll try and call in if I can. The Surge, we're very happy to have had you listening in. The Surge 2, Facebook.com/TheSurge2 if you want to hook up with us on Facebook. We will see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night.
Take care. Adios.
What was that? I'll tell you what that was. That was another fine show from RockSlamRadio.com. Yeah.